Hello Internet, it is I, Alcibiades20, fan favorite heartthrob. Now, I know you clicked on this video because it was me, I'm in charge of this video, I wrote it, I'm recording it, I know that's the whole reason you came. However, today, it's not about me. Today is about a character that I hold very dear to my heart. Probably because I can make them act like me. Today, we are talking about the Dovahkiin and the potential Smash Bros. Moveset. This video was sponsored by the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. Also, by the Crossroads, because, well, it worked real well for Robert Johnson. And finally, to viewers like you, thank you for sticking through this advertisement, not clicking off the video. It means a lot to me. Now I know what you're thinking. Alcibiades, don't be ridiculous. Dovahkiin doesn't stand a chance when you compare him to all the other characters. Plus, who really wants another sword fighter in Super Smash Bros? I mean, come on. And to that I say, this isn't a wish list. I mean, come on, it's just a moveset. I don't think this character's gonna get in. I just wanted to make a moveset for him. Because I love Skyrim. I love video games. So the logical next question would be, how would a moveset work? Well, it's very simple. Picture this with me, will you? Think of Skyrim. Its beauty, its freedom, its people, the adventures you can have, the destruction of Alduin. Toss that all out the window. We don't need any of that. What you came for were the shouts. I mean, what's a Dragonborn Moveset without shouts? Come on! And also there's a couple sword swings, and I threw some fire magic in there to spice it up, just so they're not entirely a sword-based character. Now, let's take a hot second just to stop and stay at the shouts, because the shouts on their own, I'm just gonna say it, they're incredibly broken. There's no going around it. You can't just keep shouting and shouting and shouting, otherwise Dovahkiin's gonna be banned from tournaments. So we need balancing. Now, what could balance out shouts? Simple. A cooldown. Duh. Just like in Skyrim. Except, unlike Skyrim, your cooldown only affects your current shout. So, if you were to shout, say, Fire Breath, which, spoiler alerts, is one of his moves, you can't just keep shouting Fire Breath. You have to wait. How long you have to wait depends on how many words of power you use. There's 3 total, so the more words of power, the stronger the shout, but the longer the wait time. You can use more words of power, kind of like charging up a smash attack. From here, listen, you know what, let's ignore the whole huge intro thing and let's get right into it, because I know you're dying to judge me on which shouts I use and how accurate they are to the game. So let's get right into it, starting with the specials. Neutral special is one we already talked about. It's or Fire Breath. Wow, that's so weird because I don't say anything. I just kind of stare blankly at the mic and it's all done in post. I'm sorry. Anyway, Fire Breath is a fairly straightforward projectile. Upon impact, it'll deal fire damage, but it doesn't have any knockback. So you could compare it to something like Piranha Plant's Side B, except a greater distance, and you sacrifice some power. However, you can gain some of that power back with the use of words of power. The more words of power you use, the stronger the attack is. Moving right along to the side special, we have
What? Nakast!
or Whirlwind Sprint. Now, this move at first glance just seems like Fox's side special, and you know what? You're kind of right. However, this move focuses on sweet spots, in particular at the beginning and end of the move. So, if you hit those sweet spots opposed to not hitting them, you'll do way more damage. Now, adding a word of power, the obvious solution is to increase the distance. However, it's not just that. When you add a word of power, you keep your sweet spots. So, for example, if you use all 3 words of power, you will have 4 sweet spots. The one at the beginning, the one at the first end, the one at the second end, and the one at the true end. It's pretty powerful, and will give you a better chance at hitting that sweet spot. Up next, the up special, or the recovery, or whatever the heck you want to call it. It is or Cyclone. Now, this won't work like the Cyclone you know and love from Skyrim. It's not as powerful, per se. It's really more of a recovery-based move. Upon the shout, the Dovahkiin will shoot down a tornado, which will launch them into the air. More words of power do not launch the Dovahkiin further in the air. You see, instead of that, the Cyclone will stay there for a few seconds, and anybody who goes in there will take damage and be launched in the air. They, however, will be launched further in the air upon more words of power. Did that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Next, the down special. And I'm gonna be frank with you, I'm really proud of this move. I would say out of all the moves in this moveset, this is probably the most unique. I mean, please keep watching because there are still some great moves to come, but you won't forget about it. This move is called or Marked for Death. Ooh. On impact, this move does 0 damage whatsoever. No damage, none. However, what it does do is it increases your opponent's launching distance. And then, you add your word's power, and that increases their launching distance even more. So, that's fairly obvious, I would say. Congratulations, viewer! You made it to the smash attacks, which means you're doing way better than all the other viewers who just quit at the specials. Now, for this, I will reward you with the one thing you came here for, the side smash. Or you could also call it Unrelenting Force, but nobody actually calls it that. This move is just a glorified smash attack. I mean, its launch rate is incredible, especially with the more words of power you use. Well, I wouldn't really say it's anything to write home about. Wreaking havoc from above, the up smash, which is called or Call Storm. Now, if you've played Skyrim, this shout is incredibly powerful and is toned down from its roots. However, it is still quite strong. Think of it like a reverse Palutena up smash, where instead of coming from the ground to the sky, you come from the sky to the ground. Adding more words of power will not increase the damage of the lightning bolt that comes in front of you. Instead, it will add more lightning bolts. The first word will just have one lightning bolt come down in front of you. The second will add one that also comes behind you. And the third will strike you. And you die. That's it. That's the entire move. I jest, of course. The third will strike your sword, and from it, sparks will fly, doing minor lightning damage to anybody nearby. on to the down smash, which is
Yes, Manus!
or ice form. Now, upon impact, this shout will do a fairly decent amount of damage and a bit of knockback. Not too much though. But that's not what you came here for, was it? I mean, the shout's called ice form. You want to turn your opponent solid. And you can do that with a small chance. However, with more words of power, the chance increases. Now, I'm not a numbers guy, and I think something like this has to be play tested, but to throw something out there, I would say there's a 50-50 chance upon using 3 words of power to freeze your opponent solid. Think that's too broken? Ah, too bad. It's my moveset. Hey Alcibiades, if all your moves are shouts, wouldn't you just eventually run out of moves? I mean, it's a fair point, but I never said all your moves were shouts. In fact, I'm pretty sure I said not all your moves were shouts. Regardless, on to the tilts, jabs, and aerials, and grabs. I mean, they're not as exciting as the shouts, and they're kind of bland, but you know, there's enough there to keep your interest, so please hold on tight. Starting with the jabs, we have the flame spell. Ooh, that's exciting. It's not a one-handed sword attack. Man, what else is there to offer? What about the side tilt? That's a one-handed sword power attack. But the dash attack is pretty cool because it's also a one-handed sword power attack, but sprinting this time. And then there's the down tilt, which is a sneak attack with the one-handed sword, and the up tilt, which actually isn't even in Skyrim. It's just an upward thrust. They don't really have any attacks that aim upwards. Ugh. Up next, the aerials. Starting with a bang. The neutral air, which is a weak version of Firestorm. Then there's the side air, which is just a thrust with the sword. Nothing too fantastic, but it does pick back up with the back air, which is a firebolt shooting behind. Then there's the down air, which is a boot stomp. It can spike though. And finally, my favorite, the one that will make a bunch of people rage, the up air, which is a weaker version of Fireball. Great for killing off the top. Finally, to finish off the trio of boring moves, we have the grab family. Starting with the pommel, which is a simple headbutt. On to the forward throw, we have 2 punches. The second punch launching the opponent. The back throw is a backbreaker throw, fairly straightforward, and the up throw is an over-the-shoulders throw. The down throw is my personal favorite. The Dovahkiin takes the opponent and slams them to the ground. Now, that sounds incredibly boring, except when they are slammed to the ground, they hit a fire root, dealing fire damage, not just to them, but anybody who's close enough to the Dragonborn. Remember when I said the down special was the most unique move in this moveset? That was a lie! Haha, you've been bamboozled! Or, if you're still here, I guess you haven't been bamboozled because I just admitted it. So, whatever, moving on. The most unique move in this moveset is the final smash, which is or Soul Tear. Now, Solitaire does not work like it does in game, I'm sorry to say. I feel like that would be a bit too broken and kinda hard to do if you're only doing a one-on-one match. Instead, when hit by Solitaire, the opponent will create a shadow copy that will fight alongside the Dovahkiin for about 15 to 20 seconds. There's a couple catches though. First of all, any damage the shadow copy takes will transfer over to the opponent, and upon the shadow copy's disappearance, the opponent will take 50% damage. Now, with that in mind, if the opponent is over 90% at the end of the shadow copy's life, they will be vanquished. Simple as that. So you made it to the end. Congratulations. I mean, if you want to leave now, you can. Just make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, as I'm required to say. However, if you want to stay, I've got just a bit more information about the Dragonborn. You interested? Well, let me show you. I'm gonna ease you into this. Let's start simple with the taunts. The side taunt is the gesture dance, typically done by Cicero in the Dark Brotherhood storyline. Then there's the up taunt, which is the standard box art pose. And finally, the down taunt, where the Dovahkiin takes a nice bow, as if he is passing off his knowledge to future generations. Coming up to the ults, we have a bit of a roadblock. You see, being the all-inclusive guy I am, I know, I'm fantastic. I wanted to include every race from Skyrim. But there's only 8 alts in Super Smash Brothers. Huh. Ah, screw it. They can come too. If anybody asks, I'm bad at math. Starting with the default skin, it can't be anybody else. It has to be the male node that promoted the game, wielding his iconic steel sword. From there, you go into the female high elf battle mage, wielding an elven sword. And then we have the male imperial commander, wielding the imperial sword. Duh. From there, we got the female Dawn Guard Breton, wielding Dawnbreaker. Is the Dawn Guard cool with Meridia? Is that lore friendly? Whatever, it looks really cool. And it fits the theme. From there, to counteract that, we have the Dark Elf Vampire Lord, wielding Harkon's sword. And then we have the female Bosmer Blade, wielding the Akaviri sword. We also have the male Khajiit Thief, wielding the Nightingale Blade. And the female Argonian Shadow Scale, wielding the Daedric sword. From that point on, we go into the bottom of the barrel. We have the male Orc Companion, wielding the Orcish sword. And the female Stormcloak Redguard, wielding a scimitar. Okay, listen, I know it doesn't make much sense with the Stormcloaks and the Red Guards need representation, and if you look at the lore, the Red Guards might help fight for Skyrim's freedom. I don't know. Don't judge. Don't be racist. Last but certainly not least, we have the stage. And I can't think of a more iconic place to do battle than the throat of the world. This stage functions very similarly to Spear of Pillars. But instead of legendary Pokemon, you have legendary dragons from across Skyrim. Starting with the most basic dragon, we have Parthenax, who uses a very simple flame breath. Parthenax, if you're listening, I'm sorry for calling you basic. I didn't mean it. I was just referring to your simple attack. You're not basic, and I'm also sorry for killing you that one time. That was a bad move on my part. Moving on, we have Dovahkiin, who does exactly what Parthenax does, except with ice. So it's just fire breath, but blue, and does frost damage. It's very Belmont-like. From there, we get to the more exciting stuff. Alduin, the World Eater. No, he does not eat the stage. Instead, he summons meteors from the sky, crashing to the stage below. Moving on to the DLC dragons, we have Danavir. He summons shades to the battlefield, which will do damage to anybody they come in contact to. And finally, from the Dragonborn DLC, we have Sarotar? Mirax Dragon! We have Mirax Dragon. And to comply with his master's wish, or his master's wish, he will summon black tentacles to the stage, which will grapple the opponent and deal poison damage over time. Well, I have dried up on content, which means it's the end of the video. Hey, thanks for staying this long. It means a lot to me. If you like this video, my overlord tells me that you should like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell. Whatever that means. I'm just glad you stayed. I am so glad to be done with this. So many takes. It's incredibly stressful doing voice work. What? What do you mean I have to edit it? Well, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna spend 3 to 5 days of my life, non-stop, no breaks, editing this video. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.